Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time, in my opinion, is a pretty good one, pretty interesting one, pretty crazy one. If you enjoy it, leave a like on the video, and let's just jump right into today's story time. So today's story time is about a fan of mine, a very big fan, and his mother, and how I had a very crazy encounter with them, specifically his mom. So I hope you enjoy this, and yeah, let's just do this. So today's story time all starts off as a normal day in 2017. I was visiting my hometown for a couple weeks. At this point, I was living out in LA, but I went back to visit my hometown for a couple weeks, and I was just visiting with my family, my friends, having a nice trip back home, right? And I was renting an Airbnb with some friends, as I usually did when I would go home, and I get a call from my mom one day. She calls me up, and she's like, "Hey, when's your flight out of here?" I was like, "Not for a few more days. Why? What's up?" And she goes, "Well, I have this friend, and her son is the biggest Luna fan ever. Like, he just loves you. And I really think it would just be awesome if you would meet him in person and just make his day, like surprise him." And I was like, "Yeah, that'd be great." So fast forward like 24 hours later, the next day, I'm sitting in my room, and my mom calls me up, and she's like, "Hey, okay, so here's his address. I'm going to text it to you right now. I'll meet you over there. And yeah, we'll both just walk in, and her son will probably freak out, and she'll be there waiting for you as well." So yeah, I was going to this kid's house to surprise him. His mom was there waiting for us, and my mom was going to meet me there. So we get to his house, we walk in, this kid fucking freaks out. He was stoked to meet me. I was stoked to meet him. Then we played some video games. I kind of smoked him in every game we played, not to brag, but you know, he kind of got his ass beat on Call of Duty. But anyway, meeting him was dope, and while I was at his house, nothing out of the ordinary happened whatsoever. It was after this that things got weird. So as I was about to leave and go back to my Airbnb like an hour later, this kid's mom walks up to me and she goes, "Hey, I know this is a lot to ask, but like, do you think you could come see like your office and like where you make your videos?" And I was like, "Well, that's actually in LA. I live in LA currently. I'm actually staying at an Airbnb right now, and I kind of have like a temporary setup." And she goes, "Oh, I know, but like, do you think it'd just be okay if you could come see that? Like, he'll freak out. He would love to see like where you're making videos right now." And I think about it for a second, and I'm like, you know what? Why not? It's an Airbnb. I'm not living at this house. I don't really care if he has the address, whatever. So I give his mom the okay to bring him over to my Airbnb and show him my setup. So fast forward like 20 minutes later, we all arrive at my Airbnb. We all walk in. My friends are sitting on the couch watching a movie. They see me walk in with my mom and my mom's friend and her son, aka the big fan of mine. And they didn't expect us to show up in like a group like that. And one of my friends was just ripping a bong on the couch right in front of my fan and his mom. Not very crucial to the story time. Just thought it was kind of funny that we walked into that. So anyway, I take them upstairs. I show them my really shitty makeshift setup that I was doing YouTube videos out of. And I thought that that was the end of it. And after that, we turn around. We walk down the stairs. I shake the dude's hand, the homie that watched my videos. I tell him that I appreciate his support. I followed him on Twitter. And I told him if he ever needed any YouTube tips, he could DM me. And I hugged his mom, and I thanked her for setting all of it up because she was a really great mom that clearly cared about her son. And that's all I thought it was going to be. But then as she's walking out the door, she accidentally drops her purse on the ground, and a bunch of shit scatters all over the floor. And two of the things that fell out of her purse onto my floor are two things that looked oddly familiar. One of them was my chain. It was like a little silver chain that I wore at the time. And then there was also a ring in there that belonged to me. Both pretty expensive items and both pretty rare items that both belonged to me. So when I see these two things on the ground, I picked them up, and one of them had engraving on it, and I turned it around, and it had the same engraving that I had on mine, the ring. And I was like, okay, this bitch just stole from me. Now, I didn't say that out loud, but I looked at her, and she looked at me, and I was like, did you just steal my ring and my chain? Like, I'm pretty sure these two things are mine. Did you steal these? And she goes, "Oh, I don't know how those got in there. Like, he must have grabbed them." And she points at her son. She tries to throw her son under the bus. And he goes, "What? What the fuck? No, I didn't take those. Why would I rob my favorite YouTuber?" And I was like, "Thank you, man. Thank you." Like, this kid even knew that his mom was a thief. And she goes, I really don't know how those got in there." And I was like, "Just tell the truth. Tell me you stole them, and we'll go our separate ways, and I won't call the cops on you." And she goes, "Fine, I'm sorry. I'm so embarrassed. Like, this is not like me. I'm so sorry. Like, I really, really am." And I was like, "So you admit you took those from my room upstairs? Like, they were sitting on my bed, and you took them?" And she goes, "Yeah, I did. I'm sorry. I really like designer things, and those are both designer jewelry pieces, and I I don't know what got into me. I'm sorry. Like, she didn't even seem that sorry. She really just sounded like she was saying what she thought would be the right thing to say. Like, it didn't sound genuine whatsoever. It literally sounded like she was reading a script. And I was like, why? Like, why would you steal from me? Like, your son's a fan of mine. Why would you do that to him? And she goes, I don't know. I like designer things and I thought they would be nice. I'm sorry. Like, I don't usually do shit like this. I'm really embarrassed. And then my mom speaks up. She's like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, you've been one of my best friends for years. Why are you trying to steal from my son, of all people? And then her son speaks up. He's like, Mom, you know that I like his videos. You're literally going to fuck up my chances of ever talking to him again. He probably hates me now. I was like, no, dude, I don't hate you. I don't hate anybody. I don't want my stuff stolen from me, man. That's all. And he goes, yeah, no, I know. You have every right to be mad. I was like, thanks, dude. So anyway, I asked her nicely to empty her pockets and empty out the rest of her purse so that I know that she didn't steal anything else from me. And she does. She empties out everything, and she didn't take anything else other than my ring and my necklace. I got both those things back. My chain and my ring were all good, all fine, back in my possession. And I ended up coming to an agreement with this lady. I basically just told her, like, hey, never come near my house again. Don't ever steal from anybody again. Like, you're extremely lucky that I'm not calling the cops on you right now. Like, the only reason I'm not calling the cops on you right now is because your son is a fan of mine and I don't want to get his mom arrested. That'd be horrible. So, yeah, you can thank him and never steal from anybody again. That's scummy. And she's like, I won't, I promise. Now, I think she was lying. I don't think she was telling the truth. I think she probably would steal again, but I don't know. I really don't know. Anyway, in the end, my mom stopped being friends with her. Her son was very disappointed in her. I was very disappointed in her. And we all learned a valuable lesson. That's don't leave expensive things just sitting on your bed for anybody to take. Like, I know that it was my house, but still, I shouldn't have left it out in the open like that. My necklace and my ring were just out there in the open. So yeah, if you have nice things, make sure they're hidden well and not just out in the open for anyone to see, because some people aren't so nice and they might try and steal your belongings. But yeah, guys, moral of the story is be careful with who you trust. And yeah, that's pretty much that. But anyway, guys, I thought this was a pretty crazy story time about the time a fan's mom tried to rob me. If you enjoyed this story time, please leave a like on the video. I would really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys all later. Peace. So I'll leave them leaking red. Scarecrow. There's no upsetting me. There's nothing left of me. I'm just seeking my own death. Reaper caressing me, and he's been telling me that he's not my only friend. That he's not my only friend. That he's not my only friend.